Hello, family. Welcome to another episode of Role Model Experts Cafe. I'm your host, Dr. L, the Parent Whisperer. And today with me, I have somebody very special. I've had the opportunity to meet with her a couple of times now. She's amazing, and I love how she shows up on the topic that she talks about. Her name is Miss Alex Tomaszewska. Did I say that right, Alex?
Yes, pretty good.
Known as the confident whisperer. I'm the parent whisperer. This is the confident whisperer. So we got all kinds of whispering going on here. So, so without further ado, Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be involved with confidence. And I know that you have a really cool angle on this. So tell us a little bit about how you came to kind of get yourself involved with this, what your current company does, and then we'll get into the real details.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here. I have so many angles. I don't think we're going to be able, to talk about it all in this meeting. But the thing is, I'm an IT engineer, and really, I would have never, ever in a million years figured, I would be a confidence coach, even less confidence whisperer. But my client called me a confidence whisperer, and I said, maybe this is what I do. So I just, took that name. What happened for me? Why did I switch from the corporate career? How did I start with all that? Is I got depressed and I couldn't work for 18 months. And after I got back on my feet, I was very successful in my corporate career. After I got back on my feet, I think it was the same day or the same week that I came back to work, and I just printed my notice, and I said, I can't do this anymore. My heart is not in it anymore. I had no idea what to do with my life. But I am physically unable to do things that I don't like. So I just had to go. And, just that's how it all started. I got a job at a small dumplings place. I was a waitress for a while, got, a whiff of a completely different life than the 9 to 5. And I said, well, people can go to work or like noon and leave at 9. That's a different world. Where have I been? Where has it all been all my life? Then I got another job in IT, and then I decided I'm going to be a consultant. And I did this course, and that was a mindset training. And I started to learn about the brain. It was a few years ago only. And I trained my brain, and in 2 months, just my whole life was transformed. And it basically just grew from there. The stuff that I do now is just mindset is just basically the tip of the iceberg. Why I'm the confidence whisperer is because I started to be a coach online, and I realized the online world, maybe you've noticed that too, it does something to people. Like I was quite confident. I always knew like deep down, I wasn't confident at all, at work, but you grow your career, you add up, the breaks, and you end up, being successful. And, and I started to work online. And when you're sharing your creation, your baby online, something, just crushes in you. And I realized I had built like 2 spines. One of my spines was the confidence that I built in my corporate career. But it wasn't a real spine. When that corporate career was gone, that spine was gone. And, my confidence was basically down by my ankles. So then I use a lot of different tools to build it all up. And now it is really, really solid. And I connected to my soul. I discovered spirituality, all that stuff. So that in a nutshell is where I come from.
So, Alex, typically when you think IT, you don't associate that with somebody who is confident. They might be confident to be in their own shell, but maybe I'm generalizing, but that's typically what I envision. So my question to you is that now that you have been focusing on this topic and teaching it to other people, why do you think it's important to have this confidence? What has been the transformational thing for you or that you've seen in your clients?
This is such a good question, because sometimes I ask myself, why do people need confidence? And then I see that in anything you do in life, you need confidence. It is the cornerstone of you being happy, being healthy, being pain-free, being wealthy, having a good relationship. Everything starts with confidence. So when we lack it, we listen to that inner critic, we listen to that voice that tells us, oh, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. and we wait for permission. And that permission, especially if you're an entrepreneur, it never comes because there's nobody to give you that permission.
Right.
And so you wait, you just submersed in water, and you're just floating there, but nothing really happens. And you're not really making any moves. Nothing is really changing, and you're not growing. Right. So I think it is absolutely necessary for anybody.
Right. I actually can see this because in our audience members, we of course have parents, and we also have a lot of speakers, entrepreneurs, and advocates that serve parents. One of the things that I often talk about when we're talking about parents is the fact that you want to show the kids how to have gusto, how to be able to lead a full life, right? And if you are lacking confidence, you kind of inadvertently pass that on to your children, that the world is a dangerous place, that you should not take chances, and in the process, kind of limit your life and how much you can show up in life. And same thing for businesses and entrepreneurs. It's the same thing, that when you are scared to step out there, share your mission, your vision with the world, you deprive the world of your gifts, of your talents and benefits, right? So this is important both on the home front as well as the world front, basically. All right, so what are the typical challenges? I mean, we know that it's important and we talk about it all the time. We like confident people. We are attracted to them. But why is it, like, I hear fear of public speaking, right? And people have confidence issues when it comes to public speaking. So my question is, why is this such an issue? What is the challenge when it comes to confidence that robs us of our confidence?
There's just so many things, and for everybody, this will be different. So the way I work with people is, one of the things that I do is I also help you cure diseases, heal your diseases using your mind, and release weight using the mind without diets, without exercising. And those stories are also different. The reasons why we hold on to weight are also different for different people. So for instance, if we connect weight to confidence, if we have this belief, and I used to have that belief, and the belief can also come from a variety of stories, that I am not important. When I show up as a public speaker, or even as a parent, and I feel that I am not important, why would the audience listen to me? They will not. And I keep staying in this mindset of, instead of focusing on the message that I have to tell them, which is important, and putting this energy into this message so that they feel excited about it and inspired to take action. Instead of that, I think about, what will people think about me? Will they think, that I'm important enough to listen? Will they listen? And that automatically just shatters my message, basically. It just decreases this. I could have had a gazillion-dollar message here, but if I'm not confident, because of the energy that I call it the magic canvas on which we serve the message. So the message is words, and then anything you serve them, be it a post, being an email, be it a conversation, be it your speech, we serve it on the magical canvas. That is the energy that we inject into that. Right. And the canvas, it's 93% of what we say is the canvas, and only 7% is the actual words. So that's how it influences the message. And if you're a parent, you talk to your child and they won't listen, and you don't have the confidence, you don't feel, for instance, that you're important, naturally that message is not going to be strong enough, and that may cause issues in your child's life in the future because they lack that confident parent. How that influences weight, for instance. Sometimes when we don't feel important, in order to be seen, our brain decides to store additional weight in our body, because I still want to be visible, but I don't feel I'm important. And going back to childhood, I need to be found by my mother. I need to be seen by my mother as a child for survival. So I am going to just be bigger.
Yeah, I told you you had an angle. I knew about this, but it was such a memorable thing the first time I heard this. I'm like, wow, that's such a different way of looking at it. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, even if you're in a store and you're big, people have to make space for you so you feel important. And that, no diet and no exercise will take that away from you. As long as you have that belief down there, it's going to be bothering you. So this is, just one example of how we are tangled in our stories.
So what are your, so here's one part. So we have to let go of that belief, right? So this is one of those challenges, how you see yourself or how you want to be seen. And then ultimately you manifesting it in ways that you didn't intend to. Then the other question that I have is, what are your tips in overcoming some of these challenges? Because sometimes these are very insidious, right? You're not even aware that they are there. So what would be something that somebody could do, like right after this, to kind of change that outlook or do things differently so that they gain more confidence?
So let's stick maybe to this example, because a lot of people already have that belief. And first of all, you need to realize that you have it. And so the way to realize it is, you can say to yourself right now, as you're listening to us, you can say, I am important, and see how it feels. Does it feel true? Or do you feel, cringe? Do you feel like, no, I can't even say that. I can't even think that. If that is the case, that means that you have that belief, and subconsciously it has been affecting your whole life, basically, how you show up, right? So the first thing to do is to realize that you have it. And then the second thing that is really important is having the belief that you can get over it. Because a lot of people, they know their flaws, they know that they're imperfections that affect their life on a daily basis. And they just say, oh, and I used to be like that, totally. This is just the way I am. I used to get mad. I was like, the angriest person in the world, the joyful, but anyway, you never knew when I would throw a CD player at you. And so, and I always used to say, this is just me. I can't change that. But when you realize that you can change that, and you can start trying to change that, start changing that by doing like 1% small, tiny changes. So just saying to yourself, maybe I am important, just verify if this is really true. Right. Why do I say that? Just start to think about it. If this is really true, so that's a great question to ask yourself. So again, first you need to understand whether you have that belief or not, then believe that you can actually change, because people change. It's easy to change, but I wasn't changing all my life. And I thought, I had just like a limited space where I could change, and everything outside of it was completely unavailable to me. Well, when you take that limitation away and say, I can be whatever, and whoever I can, then you start believing, okay, I can change the fact that I don't feel important. Then you say, is it true that I'm not important? And it's going to, and I like to just dig into that a little deeper and say, if I pointed a gun at your head and I asked you, and I said, you cannot lie now, are you important? And you were to answer me, this is a really powerful, I get goosebumps as just saying this. Now, would you say that you're not important? And this is what makes people really realize what they think about themselves. And that is a small difference. And then just keep reminding yourself of that, of the answer to your question every day.
And actually, that's what I want to ask you, that is it a decision or is it a belief, or do you first make the decision and then the belief comes, or what's the difference between the two, and where should somebody start with that?
Well, I think the decision is that I will do something about it. Simple, doesn't have to be very complex. I will do something about it. And then you're halfway there. When you make that decision, you're halfway there, because once you make that decision, you start getting opportunities. You start seeing, you start reading different posts on social media. You start talking to people, and everything changes. So yes, that's it. And if it's, these beliefs are formed in us even before we're born. And I just dig like even 4 generations back. In my case, I dug to a story which was probably like 8 generations back, So they are really rooted like in your DNA. But it doesn't matter because your DNA, nothing is really genetic. You can change the pattern of that DNA. You can change how much it influences your life. So you can have some sort of the disease on a DNA, but when you make a decision, I'm not going to let that affect me. Right. I'm not going to be loyal to my family in this particular area. Then this is stronger than the DNA.
Right.
So your belief is stronger than the DNA. So it all starts with the decision. The belief you had, fine, I can change my belief. But don't change to something, just absolutely crazy, because you're never going to believe that. So you want to be gentle with changing. It's you want to change. I'm not important to, I may be important, for instance. It's like, that's easy to believe. Okay, I can work with that. And then you continue. A few months later, it's like, actually, I'm important. And then your life is changed.
I can definitely tell the times that, confidence has played critical roles in my life as far as being able to, make one decision versus the other that would have been otherwise life-changing, basically. So, and sometimes you don't notice it at the time, but in hindsight, you look back and you're like, wow, if I had made that other choice, it would have gone completely differently. And so, yeah, it just basically mushrooms from one point and it just really expands from there.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell our audience members a little bit, Alex, about where you're at and how can people get a hold of you and work with you and some of the details about your company.
Absolutely. So I usually work right now one-on-one with people, just because, like I said, all these stories, they stem from a different viewpoint. And what I gave you was kind of a generic solution. But sometimes we need something stronger, and we need to really see where does this belief comes from, So you can find me at theconfidencewhisperer.com, which is my website. Okay. What I strongly suggest, if you're not ready to work one-on-one, you can find information on the website how to work with me. What I really suggest is signing up to my newsletter, because I share a lot of different things and people love that newsletter. In there I share about weight loss and confidence and marketing, etc. So it's like a mix of Alex, and there's always a story there, and it's pretty awesome, and you can stay in touch with me that way. And also we're going to be sharing a free download with 7 rituals, just 7, that really transformed my life. I started using them at that moment in time which I mentioned in the beginning of the training, where I started to train my brain. These ultra short rituals, each of them is under a minute, are going to completely transform your life, guaranteed. So you can download them over there. And I guess that's it. What I work on is chronic health issues. I allow your health to lead us through your business journey, like I connected weight, for instance, to not feeling important, right? I have this framework called Untitled and Healing Marketing, which is helping you market your services online without feeling like an imposter, without feeling guilty or ashamed, without feeling spammy, sleazy, etc. Where we also basically dissolve all the beliefs and blocks and inner conflicts that stop you from showing up powerfully online. And a couple of different things that I do as well. But this is just to give you an idea.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. I'll make sure that I'll put those links in the chat box or the description. So guys, please take a look at that. Actually, that was very generous of you to offer the gift as well. So I really appreciate that. And also, I know that one of the things that builds confidence is knowing that you're part of a community. So seeing support, receiving support, like the newsletter, things like that, being around that kind of mindset, a lot of times that is just enough to get you over the hump, give you the confidence to move forward. So definitely take advantage of that. I really appreciate you, Alex, for being with us today and taking time. What time is it over there right now?
It's 5:40 p.m.
So you're in Europe, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so we are here in the United States, and I really appreciate you being here. And thank you guys for sticking out with us. And we look forward to having you on future episodes as well. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you click subscribe so you'll stay updated with the latest experts interviews that we have here on the channel. We look forward to seeing you. Cheers.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great. Good questions. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.